So here they are, Series 3 of the Resident Evil Archive figures from NECA Toys. I'm not sure what online stores will be carrying these figures, but I stopped by a Toys R Us today and I was very happy to find these. They were $14.99 each, which comes out a bit cheaper than some of the online stores that do carry them right now. I know, of course, you can find these on eBay and a few other places, I think like PlayAsia, but as you know, PlayAsia is overseas and it's like probably $18 there, and of course that's not even including shipping. Same thing with eBay, and I really didn't want to go down that route and pay a little bit more when I knew I was going to find them for this price. And of course I picked out the best boxes. Some of them at Toys R Us were in bad shape, and of course these were the perfect ones near the back, so I decided to grab these. But I'm happy to say that this completes my entire NECA Resident Evil collection. I know I reviewed these a couple of months back, and for those of you who haven't seen that video, you can just click on the little link right there and go to it. But I ended up reviewing all of them, and as many of you have been collecting, you know, the archives versions of these figures, even though they're the reissue of the 10th anniversary line, you've been waiting about a year since Series 2 was released, and many of us were wondering if we're even going to get a Series 3, and I'm happy to say that they're out. So my suggestion is to go out and grab them before they end up selling out. So let's go ahead and get started here with Hunk. I just wanted to do a little comparison next to the 10th anniversary line. As you can see, the figures are pretty much identical. I do notice, it's going to be a little bit hard to see though, but the suit is a little bit more grayer on the 10th, on actually this line, than it is in the 10th anniversary edition. But either way, it's a pretty cool figure. Comes with the same exact accessories, you know, it comes with a little TMP submachine gun and the antivirus and his briefcase, which I've heard you can't actually open up and put any of the accessories in there, but here's just the back of the box. I decided to put them in the D12 case just because it has some white lighting here, so you can just see a better comparison. I don't have great lighting here in my room. So you can see even the back's pretty much the same, except it doesn't come with, you know, some other photos. Except here on the side, just of the other figures. Next up we have the Crimson Head, and the Archives version, comparing right next to the 10th anniversary line once again, just like with Hunk. Show off the back of the box before we get into some details here. Once again, they're the same. This is one of my favorites from the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube, which is actually my favorite Resident Evil game, just because I feel that that's when Resident Evil was pure horror, and that remake is just a masterpiece in my opinion. I'm sure many of you will agree. Just so you can see just the details here. It's a very awesome figure. He comes with the dog. Many of you know that the dog in this version is a little bit different from the one that comes with the classic zombie that's not a Crimson Head. Here's the 10th anniversary line, just for comparison. And last but not least, here's a Tyrant, which stands about 10 inches tall when you attach the legs, as I've mentioned in my last video. This is probably one of the coolest looking ones of the NECA line, just because of all the details here. See how angry he looks. I'll just turn to the back really quick, as we did with the rest of the figures in this video, just for comparison. The ultimate life form made possible through the effective implementation of the T-Virus. Tyrant boasts impressive durability and battle capabilities, as well as enough brain power to obey commands. And there goes my Umbrella edition tape. But anyways, here it is. Now, some people have been asking me why I don't open up any of these figures, and I have before. As you can see right here with the Resident Evil 5 Chris. I meant to address that in my previous review video that I did of all my figures, but I ended up forgetting. So just to answer that question, like I said, as soon as I opened up this figure, like, I ended up kind of regretting it, just because it's like you can't really put it back in the package and everything, and I ended up buying another version of the Resident Evil 5 Chris, which you can see right there. And like I said, I mean, they're not completely 100% perfect as some of the newer figures you'll see, like from Hot Toys. I mean, they have great articulation, don't get me wrong, these are some of the coolest figures. I wouldn't be collecting them if I felt otherwise. But like I said, I mean, if you keep them in the package, you never have to worry about them ever getting broken, losing parts, you know, having to clean them off for dust or anything. I mean, I still keep the casing clean and everything every now and then, but they never lose their value, especially when you see some people trying to scalp these online for such high prices, such as, you know, like the Bloody Chainsaw Ganado. I mean, that one just runs like $150 online, and I didn't even pay that price at all. I think the highest price I've ever paid for one of these figures was like $45, and even that got to me just because, I mean, I don't like having to pay such a high price for, I mean, these small figures. I mean, they're worth it though. I mean, if you're going and collecting them, I would recommend not spending so much money on them. And of course, you know, another reason I don't open them is because, I mean, some of the Hot Toys figures that I have, such as the Jill Valentine here, they've just kind of spoiled you. These you do open, you put them on display, and they look awesome. I mean, that's why I have them in the detailed case and everything, but other than that, I mean, that's just to kind of answer. It's just a personal preference of mine, and I'm just going to keep it that way. I don't plan on selling any of them. So I decided to redo my wall a bit here. So now you can see the entire Archives Series 1, 2, and 3 side by side. And you can see the entire 10th anniversary line that was released a few years back. And the Resident Evil 4 line right there, including the exclusive Bloody Chainsaw Ganado. And I decided to move the Resident Evil 5 figures over here. There's only 3 of those. I don't know if they're ever going to release more of them, but so far that's a complete Resident Evil 5 line from NECA Toys. But there you go. There's all of them now. So there's my little updated video right here. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.